Sziasztok! Köszöntünk titeket az Értett Podcast legújabb epizódjában. Hát egy kicsit nehezen indult a nyár után, de egész különlegesen sikerült, ugyanis mai podcastünk vendége, nem más, mint Nick Vujicic. Úgy gondolom, sikerült egy néhány kérdést feltennünk neki, és ezt szeretném majd megosztani veletek a mai podcastben, ami szolgáljon számotokra tanulságos és bátorításra. Amit én csodálok Nickben, hogy ki kell mondanunk azt, hogy mennyi hiányosság van, és mégis élettel teli van, és Istenben bízik. Úgyhogy tanuljuk mi is ezt tőle, hogy ha vannak is nehézségek az életünkben, vagy hiányosságok, maximálisan vessük a bizalmunkat Istenbe, mert az életünket vele folytathatjuk. Márk?
Számomra azért nagyon különleges ez a mai adás, mert még ma is emlékszek arra a pillanatra, amikor először a kezembe fogtam egy CD-t, amin azt írta, hogy Nick Vujicic, és beleraktam egy DVD lejátszóba, ami akkor még újnak számított, és már akkor láttam, ez volt vagy kb. 10 éve. Már akkor hatalmas inspiráció volt számomra Nick, és hatalmas megtiszteltetés, hogy ma találkozhatunk vele szemtől szembe, és igyekszünk pár olyan kérdést feltenni, ami motiválni fog titeket is, és ami hasznotokra fog válni, és fogadjátok el sok szeretettel a második szezon első részeként. Hi, my name is Mark. I'm from a Christian podcast called Értett Podcast, and I know you had a very difficult childhood, full of bullies and mean people. And now when someone looks at a video of you on the internet, they see you swimming, playing football, playing golf, and giving motivational speeches, and you do all of that with a smile. So my question would be that how did discontent or even anger at God turn into gratitude? What was the turning point in your life?
Yeah, the turning point for me, going out of depression and anger and bitterness towards God, I actually also had an additional bitterness. Not just because I had no answer from Him when I asked Him why, and He didn't give me limbs, but sometimes there are people that are not Christian because of Christians. And I had some people in my life who said they were Christian, but they were not living like Christians. And for me, it's really important that people understand that authentically I was very angry at God, but authentically He reached into my heart and changed me when I read the Bible. And there was a story about a man who was born blind, and no one knew why he was born that way. But Jesus said it was done so that I can show my works through Him. And I realized more than arms and legs, I need my soul saved, I need my heart healed, and I need my mind to be renewed. That the things of the past, the things that I would go to for an escape from the pain, or just trying to ignore my anxiety. You cannot ignore pain. You cannot ignore depression. You have to answer it with truth. And so I came to God and I said, God, if you had a plan for a blind man, then you have a plan for me. And I that day said, God, I trust you. If you have a plan for me, I want that plan. Today I have a pair of shoes. I purchased a pair of shoes just in case God gives me arms and legs, because I truly believe in miracles. But I'm not waiting for arms and legs. And I'm so blessed and honored to continue to try and spread messaging of hope and love and faith all around the world as a miracle. And so I always tell people, when you don't get a miracle, you can still be one.
So as you said, you've been to many places. My question would be, how do people from different regions react to the gospel, to the good news that you share with them?
Definitely, as I've traveled 78 countries and I've done 3,500 speeches, the largest crowd actually was in Ukraine in 2017. We had 53 million people watching in the Balkan region of the world. And we always get the same reaction when it talks about, the universal message of hope. Kids, they walk away and say, wow, when the world bullies me at school, if Nick can get through it, then I can get through it. And I want the young people to know that they're beautiful just the way that they are. But the greatest message of all is that they're loved. That they're loved just the way that they are, that God has a plan for them, and that when we go through different circumstances, sometimes our strength cannot get us through, but with God's help and unification and prayer, we can get through anything, I believe. As I've gone through many different cultures and many people have different religions, obviously I go to countries like China. I'm not preaching the gospel in China, but I try to motivate people as much as I can. I've been in India. I'm actually in English subject school textbooks as an inspirational study. And interestingly enough, the word God with a capital G is in the English subject textbook in India. And there's a 6-page story of my life. And so whether you're Muslim, Hindu, and different religions, I cannot maybe sometimes preach in different nations, but where I can freely talk about my Christianity, I love to talk about my Christianity, because without my Christian faith, Nick would not be who he is today. I would not get out of my depression, as I was also attempting suicide at age 10. I needed truth, I needed purpose, and it's where I found it. It was in Christianity, in Jesus Christ.
There are people who may be in a better position than you by having a head start in life, but still they don't do anything in order to achieve their goals, or are they constantly looking for excuses? Nick, where do you get your motivation from?
You know, I think the last 3.5 years was very difficult for everyone around the world, and we all had to kind of react and get through things differently. I also went through quite a depression in 2021, and I actually personally needed counseling. And so I'm glad that I could find someone that I could talk to, that I could trust. And what was interesting to me was everyone sees me as an inspiration, as someone who's the motivator, someone who is strong. But I still cry. I still go through ups and downs, and I still go through depression sometimes. No one's superhuman. But I'm so glad, because when I started talking to this counselor, I wasn't really talking about 2019 or 2020 or 2021, even though those were pretty much the 3 worst years of my life, with what happened to me in America. Some bad things were happening. But I actually started talking to them about 2002, 2006, 2007, 2008. There were some things in my life that I never talked about, those problems with someone, you know, in a counseling session. And you know, us Europeans, we don't really share how we feel. We're not really emotional. We don't really go through counseling, right? But it was such an opportunity to get my heart healed. And you know, I'm very thankful for the Hungarian government, the demographic summit, because in America, I don't know if you know what cancel culture means out here, but in 2019, I got kicked out of an American bank, and they refused to talk to me. And they gave me a letter, and they said, we don't want you in our bank, basically because of my beliefs. And so that was a beginning domino effect, and some other things had happened. And so I'm really wanting the young people to really start thinking. They need to think through things themselves and really understand why Christianity is Christianity, and how we need to come together in love, and it's real. The opposition is real, and so we're glad to talk about, you know, value of every baby and pro-family values, and so I'm so excited.
So why do you travel so much? Why do you feel so important to give all these motivational speeches?
Generally speaking, I don't travel 5 days a week. I travel maybe every second week in America. And next year I have 4 one-week tours, speaking in America once every second week, but I have no work over May, June, July, November, December, January. So I have 16 weeks of work and then 8 weeks off. 16 weeks of work and 8 weeks off. And so I like that rhythm a lot. It's good for me. And it's beautiful to see my kids, to be home. You know, I'm glad that I'm not traveling as I used to be, so I can be more engaged as a dad. And yeah, I'm very, very thankful. Very thankful I can have that opportunity. I will be announcing something on my social media in about 10 weeks. I'm an entrepreneur, and I already have a company called Multitude, M-U-L-T-I-T-O-O-D, and I don't want to travel as much. I want to do many videos and translate many videos in languages, and so that's a tool that I'm now using, and we have clients for that. But in about 10 weeks, I'm starting a social media company myself with my business partners. And I'm about to record 100 videos for children to never give up, talk about Christianity, and translate it in Hungarian, Romanian, Serbian, and 36 languages in total. Because the world needs hope like never before. And so digital is incredible if it's done correctly. So I'm glad I'm not traveling as much, but the idea is to travel even less or bring my kids. And I told Miklos I'd bring my kids one day, but they're not here yet. But don't worry, they'll come, they'll come. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you for covering this event. I want to say thank you to the media, and thank you for your time.
Ha szeretnétek munkánkat, szolgálatunkat támogatni, vagy hogy minőségi adásaink legyenek, ezt megtehetitek a következő 2 módon.
Az első a Buy Me a Coffee platform. Erre nézve fogtok találni egy linket a leírásban, vagy hogyha beolvassátok a képernyőn található QR kódot, akkor már egyből a platformon találjátok magatokat.
Vagy egyszerűen banki átutalással a következő Revolut számra.
Hogyha tetszett ez a rész, akkor bátorítunk téged arra, hogy oszd meg a barátaiddal, illetve megköszönnénk azt is, hogyha feliratkoznál a YouTube csatornánkra. Köszönjük szépen!